I got a story to tell. This is part one. This is the first time that I'm ever going to share one of my old school stories, interesting things that have happened to me in my 21 years of barbering. These stories may or may not have anything to do with the barbershop whatsoever, but I hope that you guys enjoy them because they're coming from the heart, and I'm going to do my best to entertain you guys and educate you guys if you guys are interested in learning about barbering, which is an amazing trade that's been such a blessing to me. First of all, I just want to get this out the way. Shout out to today's sponsor, Throg's Neck Jewelers in the Bronx. These guys got the best prices on diamonds, Cuban links, 14 karat, 18 karat, 24 karat jewelry, and sterling silver, of course. So today I want to talk about which is an assisted living home, and it is across the street from the barbershop where we work at, which is Drew's Barbershop, previously known as Flawless Looks Barbershop, with the soul of Flawless Looks, right? So this place was introduced to me long before I got the barbershop in this particular location. So one of my closest friends, my boy John, he had a relative who was living in the assisted living home, and that individual, we called him Uncle Joe, Jose Kogan, beautiful human being. I miss him, God rest his soul. He taught me so much. I look at him as one of my uncles, right? So we would visit him in the assisted living home, and first of all, I'm gonna tell you right now, it was nothing sweet. It was heartbreaking to see the conditions of this building. You don't want to end up in a building like that. Run down, needs painting, needs updating, needs renovations, no security. Basically, there was all types of people there, male and female, and you could be there because of old age. You could be there because of a mental illness. You could be there because of a physical handicap, but most of all, you were there because you couldn't afford to live on your own. And many people of retirement age, but not necessarily retirement age. There was younger people there too. So most people don't realize that you need about 1.2 to 1.4 million dollars to retire in New York comfortably. Okay, and that number is just rising due to inflation. Buy your gold and silver today, by the way, to protect yourself from inflation. So with that being said, a lot of these people, it's not that they didn't work hard in their life. A lot of people, the hardest working people, don't earn enough money. So it's never about working hard. Okay, I just want to say that, right? So when you see somebody who's living in a place like that that's run down, doesn't necessarily mean that they didn't work hard. Maybe mental health, maybe they fell on hard times. Could be a variety of things that put people in there. So be patient, be loving to people, you know. The first time I ever saw somebody who was in that place was an elderly woman who was wearing bright red lipstick and mismatched clothing. And I laughed at that person. And the person I was driving with told me the circumstances, that this person comes from a special home down the road, and I felt stupid. You know, I felt really embarrassed for laughing at somebody, not knowing the circumstances. But as the years went on, that's when I got acquainted with the spot, because I would go there to visit Jose, Uncle Joe, Jose. And let me tell you something. You have people there of all ages that never get visitors. When I walked through the door, people were ambushing me, coming out of everywhere. And it broke my heart to see that the number one question that they had was, "Are you here to see me?" Because they were lonely. They were heartbroken. Their families completely abandoned them. And even though I wasn't, I quickly realized that the way I answered the question was going to affect them. So I said, "I'm here to see Jose, but I'd love to meet you too." And I met some people that were still there, still all the way upstairs, and they just needed someone to talk to. And I just gave them an ear, you know? And there was other people that were pretty dangerous. So every day at a certain time, everybody lines up, and they will give them a sedative. If anybody's ever seen the old film with Jack Nicholson, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, amazing film, by the way. If you are somebody that likes old school films, check it out. It's really deep. And basically in that movie, it's a psychiatric ward, which there's so many similarities between that location in the movie and where I'm talking about, which is unbelievable. They would basically sedate everybody that was there, the patients in the movie, and now in the assisted living home, they would sedate these people to keep them at bay, so that they could control them and pacify them, so that they won't have to, basically, they won't be a burden to the staff. I mean, listen, if the people that are there are a burden to you, you shouldn't be working there. But the reality is, the people that work there don't want to be bothered. They want to do the minimum wage, minimum effort. I'm not saying that's right. I think it's totally wrong, but that's the mindset of people that work there. Okay? So they would line up, take the pills, and then the rest of the day they would be like zombies, right? And the thing is, you get addicted to these pills. So when a gentleman would come to the barbershop, they would always run back and always be clock watching so they could get back over there. So Jose was the most mentally sound. I don't even think there was anything wrong with him. I think the problem is us. And he had alluded to that before. And he had told me the craziest thing I had ever heard. He said, I feel bad for you guys out there. You guys are working 5, 6, 7 days a week, and the thing is, you're dealing with hatred, you're dealing with, angry drivers, you're dealing with high prices just to put food on the table. And here I am, shielded from the world. Somebody's feeding me, somebody's taking care of me here in this home. And I get shielded from all that. I think you guys are the crazy ones out there for taking part in this circus out here. I'm paraphrasing. He said it in a much more meaningful, impactful way. But that hit me, and I realized that people that were inside, I looked at them as probably, not there, but we're the ones that take part, keeping this mechanical machine of an economy going. And there's something wrong with us for what we do. We destroy our bodies, our minds, our souls just to make money. And just like in the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, there was the Native American and Jack Nicholson, who were normal and they were inside, but they were doing it to escape the sickness of the outside world. So, there was many things that I remember that Uncle Joe taught me. He used to always have a tape player, and he would listen to Frankie Ruiz, all the classic salsa jams, and he reminded me to go back to basics, and unplug from the matrix. And that was really cool. He was definitely somebody who was in touch with himself, spirituality, and the energy around him. But switching gears real quick to really focus on Centennial and not quite on Uncle Joe for the rest of this video. He certainly could get a whole video. He deserves it. But Centennial Home would also serve the most disgusting food. I'm talking about stuff that's barely for human consumption. And these ladies and gentlemen that are there get a monthly amount of money from the government. And they will save that money so that when they come to the avenue where the barbershop is and the restaurants, they will cop one meal that could be delicious for them, Some of the guys, they just take their money and they buy alcohol at the local bodega. It's like a El Salvadorian bodega down the road, and just drink and lean on the side of the building. I even seen this one really disgusting dude just pee right out on the side of a dumpster by the mechanic shop. Like, not everybody who's there is a classy good guy. There's some weird people, there's some normal people, but there's a few people that have shared to me that their grandchildren never haven't visited them, they haven't heard their voice, they forward them the voicemail, everything, just cleared out their retirements and kept it moving. That's cold. See, for me, I only had one grandparent that I ever knew, Crucita Vasquez, and she passed away when I was in my young 20s. And I would give anything to have more time with that woman. Yet here you have grandfathers and grandmothers who can't get one call. And they emptied out willingly, some of these people, their pensions, annuities, and stocks for their grandchildren, right? I mean, I never got a penny from my grandmother, and she was the treasure. It is what it is. But this is the sad situation. I mean, I'll tell you this right now. There was a gentleman came into the shop. He was wobbling around. He was drunk, completely drunk. And I wouldn't let him leave. Me and Oso served him a cup of water. He sat down on the couch and he hung out and watched the movie at the shop, and that's all right. These are community people, right? As long as they don't make a show, right? So we have a responsibility to love our seniors. I know if you guys come to the shop, I'm a little harsh on the baby boomers, and in many ways a lot of them deserve it. They destroyed the economy, and they always tell you, work harder, work harder. The reason why you're not successful is because you don't work hard. We worked hard. And meanwhile, they paid much less and earned much more than we ever will in our generation or any generation to come. But nonetheless, guys, yeah, Centennial is a crazy place. It is dark. It is gloomy. There was one Christmas that my boy Almonte, Gina Montana, who used to work for me, a couple of us went down and we wanted to bring some holiday cheer. And I'm not saying this to put me on a pedestal. I'm the last one that deserves to be on a pedestal. But we brought gingerbread houses, and we holiday cheer, decorations and such. And man, let me tell you something. It was fulfilling for us to bring some happiness to these people, especially when there was no decorations anywhere. The place, let me tell you something. Let me describe the place. Almond colored walls, off-white walls everywhere. No decorations. I think in the food hall, there was one decoration. I know there was one decoration of a beach. And that's what Uncle Joe used to always stare at. And he used to say, I in my mind, to keep myself healthy, I look at it and I remember San Juan, and I remember those days. And that was beautiful, that he was able to protect himself from his own environment by focusing in one way. But going back to the Christmas situation, yeah, we brought the gingerbread houses, we brought some decorations, we brought a lot of cheer. And you know what? Shame on me. I haven't been there in quite a while. Maybe it's time for me to grab a couple of people and we go do that, and we cheer people up, man. So that's kind of an abridged version of, what I've seen in this Centennial home. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the haircut. Look at this model right here. This guy is as sharp as can be. Guys, be grateful for this opportunity to be a barber. It's a wonderful job. You could be stuck in a cubicle. You could be up at 8:30 in the morning in traffic every single morning, and you don't have to do that. So God is good. Remember, put your faith in God, not man. Love your family, love your friends, and life is about people, relationships. That's how you're gonna be really wealthy in this world. Everything else is gonna get washed into the sea with the tide. My people, thank you.